Salvete omnes. Let's continue with the Aeneid, Book 4. Aut vero Aeneas aspecto mutuit amens, a rectaeque aurore comet, vox faucibus aesit, ardet abire fuga dulcesque relinquere terras attonitus tanto monetu imperioque deorum. But in truth, Aeneas, raging or raving, frenzied at the sight, stood dumbstruck, and his hairs were erect with horror, and his voice drained in his throat. He burns to flee with flight, and to leave behind the sweet lands. Astonished by the great warning and by the order of the gods. So this is Aeneas' reaction to Mercury's message. His reaction is clearly, I must leave Carthage immediately and begin my journey. Aeneas is obmutuit, he's dumbstruck by the sight, and he's raving or frenzied. And his hairs are erect with horror. Now you have to imagine that this is erectae est, or erectae sunt, plural. His hairs were erect, are erect with horror, and his voice strained in his throat. So since we have an et, a que, and then an et to connect these, we have to imply that this is a verb and not a participle, just with the missing sunt. Now, and for this part, his voice strained in his throat. It's like his throat went dry, like he couldn't say any words, he was so scared. And the fact that this is plural is just a poetic plural because you don't have really more than one throat. It's just it drained in his throat. So he burns to flee with flight, ablative of means, by means of flight, pretty redundant, and to leave behind the sweet lands. This dulces terras is interesting. Why the lands might be sweet to Aeneas, you might wonder. Perhaps it's because it's where he's had his affair with Dido. The men have been received hospitably. It's definitely one of the nicest stops on their journey, and the land has been a good place to Aeneas. But he's burning to leave it, because that is how much Mercury's warning scared Aeneas. So it's attonitus. He's thunderstruck, he's astonished by such a great warning and by the order of the gods. And I would say monetu and imperio are both ablatives of cause, because he's astonished because of the warning and because of the order of the gods.